minutes to your health.
Having a baby is always a beautiful thing. But after giving birth, many women struggle with that post-pregnancy bulge, and they commonly refer to it as the mommy pooch or the mommy tummy. It doesn't go away with diet and exercise sometimes, but here to give all the details is Dr. I always get her first name wrong, Savion Francis. She is president of the Jamaica Physiotherapy Association, a friend of Sheffield's, which makes her a little bit. But we're going to overlook that and move on. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning. How are you?
I am good.
Awesome.
I'm not sure if you're able to explain it, but what causes the mommy tummy? Because a lot of women I see, even when they do C-sections, that in particular, they'll say they can't seem to get it down.
Okay, so the muscles that the Lord gave us, right? We have belly muscles, but a lot of us don't really use them.
Okay.
So this muscle here, nice muscle called transverse abdominis, and what happens is you have two sides to it, and down the middle you have a connective tissue. When a woman gets pregnant, of course, the muscles begin to stretch to allow your baby to be there and grow for the 10 months, right? What happens over time, though, is that that connective tissue for some women can become weakened, and it divides, and then you have that pouch happening.
Oh.
But that weakness can be repaired.
Okay.
It's not with diet and exercise, as we said, and a lot of the traditional exercises that we would do in the gym or
and the abdomen,
the crunches, the sit-ups, the planks, those are not the best things for it.
Okay.
Because those exercises put a lot of pressure on those muscles already, and it will now force them apart. They're already torn.
They're already torn, so they haven't been repaired.
And they won't get the opportunity to come back together when you use exercises like that.
Oh.
So we have to now tailor the exercises to get the muscles to heal properly and not be damaged.
Okay. Because you probably could be damaging them more then.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not.
And I mean, yes, it tends to happen mostly to women, but it can also happen to men.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So sometimes,
the bare
our
belly.
men, over time, sometimes they go and lift up, our men are King Kong and I can lift anything. And sometimes they go and lift some heavy things. And the muscles, they're not really working out. They're not doing any form of exercise. And sometimes they can get the same separation happening when they've placed too much force on those muscles.
That happened to soft man? The same belly, that's what happened to him. All right, so let's talk about how do we fix it.
How do we fix it?
First of all, how do you determine that it's that and not just belly fat?
Okay, so what you need to do, you're going to lie on your bed, on your back, legs up. So the sole of the feet would be resting on the mattress.
Okay.
And you are going to take your fingers. You can start with 2 and let the abdomen relax. Let it all out. And then you're going to take your fingers and put at the level of your navel and feel. Push in. If you feel the fingers
Tension.
going through. No.
Oh, if you feel the fingers going
through, you can also now pull back a little and then bring the shoulders off. So it's similar to a crunch, right? Remember I said a crunch makes it vulnerable. So you're going to just bring the head and the shoulder blades off the bed and try to push through again. And if you go through, yes, there is a separation called a diastasis recti.
But I tell you something, the layman knows their body, they just don't know what it is. Because if you hear some women explain it, they will tell you, oh, it's just air in my tummy, and it's because of that space that they're referring to as air or as a gap, and that's really what it is. Okay, so that will confirm
right.
That's
and it can be wide.
Oh.
Right? So some people, yes, 2 fingers can get in. Some people it's 3. And it varies, right? But that is the best way to determine. And also you can check your gynecologist because they're the specialists for women's issues, and they usually know how to palpate for it. Some doctors should know, but just in case you're not sure, a gynecologist is also a good option to go and get a checkup to check and see if you have the diastasis recti.
All right.
So
once
now
you've
that
identified that that's what it is, what do we do from there?
What do we do? So as I said to you, crunches, planks, sit-ups, stay away from those. What you need to do now is try to engage this muscle, this natural girdle that the Lord gave us, right? And most of us really don't know how to use it. What you can do is you can take your fingers and line on your side, for example. When the abdomen falls away, you can, right at our pelvic bone there, you can push in and you'll feel some muscles there.
Okay.
What you're going to do is you're going to try to pull your navel towards your spine. And this is just a simple way to just start to engage the muscles. Remember how we learned to pull in our belly, right? Nothing is wrong with that. But a lot of us really aren't doing that. So after we've had the baby now, you want to spend some time just trying to even engage the muscles, because engaging them, getting them to actually remember that they exist and they can do something will help to develop the strength of those muscles.
Okay.
So that's one easy thing you can do.
When you say pull the navel to the spine, just by pulling in?
Right, you are taking your tummy and you're pulling in.
Okay.
Now, the next important part is that I don't want you to hold your breath.
When you're pulling in?
Yes.
Okay.
So we as women especially, you know, we're going to take a picture.
We know
and we suck in and we don't breathe. What is important also is using our diaphragm.
Okay.
Right? So we're going to be engaging those muscles, but we're also learning to breathe properly.
Okay.
Okay? Breathing is very important. So another thing to do when you're learning to breathe, and that will also help the whole core to do work, is breathe in through your nostrils, right? Allow your abdomen to go
swell
out, right? So that your lungs can fill up. When you are blowing out, you can blow out with a shh.
So it comes out gradually.
Right? So when you're blowing out the air, the belly should be coming back in. What I want you to try to imagine is as if you are pulling in everything from all the way down the pelvic area, all the way up to the navel. It's like a zip.
Okay.
So when you're blowing the air out and you're pulling that belly in, remember, when you pull the belly in, it pushes the air out. Think that there's a zip there, and you're trying to zip all the way up. So you're engaging all the muscles going up. So that's another thing that you can do. Now imagine the power of finally learning how to engage muscle as well as breathing properly. So that's a good starting point to go to. But there are a few other exercises that, of course, the physio would help to lead you through a proper program, because we would have to. It doesn't make sense for me to give you an exercise, for example, called dead bugs.
And they don't know how to
and you don't even know
properly.
you don't even know how to pull the tummy in. You can't even imagine those abdominal muscles that you have not used for a long time, especially because the reality is that they tend to be underdeveloped in most average persons. Otherwise, we see the six-pack and the eight-pack in our athletes and our really fit persons. It's the same muscle. We all have it, but it's for us to learn how to utilize
heard that,
it.
ladies? We and Shelley and Fraser Price have the same muscle.
Yes, all of us.
All of us. Ours might be a little bit in hiding, but we all
have it.
I'm listening to you, Doc, and it's interesting because I think for the most part, when people hear physiotherapy, they think about recovery
bones and
from injury.
Yes.
And they think and it's bones but what it sounds like to me is that the physiotherapist addresses many other things.
Yes, we are the rehabilitation and movement specialists.
Yeah.
So once it has anything to do with muscle, anywhere, it's pelvic floor, knees, you name it. It's physio. Yeah.
Nice. How do we get in touch with the association? Do you have a website?
Yes, it is jpa. Sorry.
No problem. Take your time.
Or email. Let me give you the email.
Give me the email.
jpa.executive@gmail.com. And from there, we can always send you information about therapists who do women's health.
Yes, and I'd recommend that you go through them, viewers, because you want to find therapists that are also accredited and are credible. Because next thing you go to a therapist and it's not really a therapist.
They're not a therapist, and we have those issues in Jamaica with every profession.
Yes, yes. All right,
Yes.
thank you.
You're most welcome.
Good 10 minutes to your health. Dr. Savion Francis, President of the Jamaica Physiotherapy Association. We're going to wrap things up after the break. Soon come.
10 minutes to your health.